This is some Indian Game of Thrones shit right here. Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, released in 2022, and is directed by Mani Ratnam, who is also behind such films like Yavanan, O Kadal Kanami, Vanam Katatam, and the soon-to-be-released Ponniyin Selvan Part 2. And this film is starring Vikram, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Jayamin Ravi, Karthi, Trisha, Jayaram, Aishwarya Lakshmi, Sobita Dulipala, Prabhu, R. Sarath Kumar, Vikram Prabhu, Prakash Raj, Raman, and R. Parthiban. And before we continue this review any farther, that's me trying. I'm terrible with foreign names, but I try to show the respect that they deserve for me to try to say them. I'm sure that was absolutely terrible. I'm sure all of you are going to be very polite about that in the comments section, but please know I have all respect for these actors and people who are involved in this film. That's just me trying to say their name and give them their due praise. I'm trying here, people. In 10th century South India, Sundara Chozar is the emperor of the lands and has two devoted sons in Aditha Karkalan and Rumozi Varman, otherwise known as Ponniyin Selvan. But the emperor believes that something is amiss in his country, so he sends a family friend, Balavararian, to investigate and see if anyone is plotting against him. So we follow him through his journey throughout the countryside, trying to connect with the young princes and princess to uncover if treason is afoot. This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes of just people talking about how they want to backstab this other person and how they want to form an alliance, and then this other group of people, they want to form an alliance and backstab each other, and then those people want to backstab each other again. And it's just, it reminds me of Game of Thrones. It's just, here we are in India. I'm terrible with the language, and I have absolutely no idea where these cities and empires belong, so I'll be honest, I'm kind of lost for majority of this thing. But I do have a sense of the relationships and the status that many of these characters have. I'm like, okay, you're the prince, you're another prince, you're a princess, you are a little spy family friend who's going to be going around, and you're kind of a ladies' man, kind of picking up this lady and this lady and this lady, and you have your way with words, and you're able to slip in and out unseen, and there's something going down where someone's trying to gain the throne, or at least be the next heir to the throne. That was my gathering of this movie. But many of my subscribers and viewers from India recommended this movie. That's why I'm covering it. I have been introduced to Indian cinema this year with RRR and Bahubali. I'm definitely going to be checking out more Indian cinema in the next coming months, and hell, in the next coming years, because I'm frickin' loving it. It's such an interesting style with these sword and sandal adventures from India, where we have these epic battle scenes. Sometimes we have CGI thrown in there, sometimes it looks great, other times, not so much. And then we cut into musical dance performances, and this thing turns into a music video. It took me aback the first time I watched this genre, but here I'm getting used to it now, so I'm expecting these musical interludes, and I gotta say, I love them. I definitely have no idea what they're saying during them because the subtitles don't come up for me, but I do enjoy the music and I enjoy the dance performances. Now, I have made reference that this is a very Indian Game of Thrones-like story because there are a lot of characters. In the prologue, we're getting introduced and told about this legend of this king and this emperor and his sons and then daughter. I'm getting lost because I don't know who these people are. I'm sure that this is a story that's been told in India, or at least that part of the world. Over here in the States, I ain't never heard of this. So it's taken me a while to get attached to, okay, who is who? Who's supposed to be the good guy? Who's supposed to be the bad guy? Is there even a good guy, bad guy thing in here? It's very much ambiguous. We're just kind of seeing people play their parts in this kind of run towards the emperor's seat, and who's working in the shadows, who's out here in front, who's being the honorable one, who supposedly sinks to the bottom of the sea at the end. Supposedly, who knows? We'll see in part 2. But I would say the main character, at least the one that we're following most of the time, is, I'm just going to call him V, because I'm not going to embarrass myself anymore by trying to pronounce his name. It's V. And I think he's a very enjoyable character. He's kind of a ruffian, he's got that Han Solo-ness about him where he wants a little bit for himself, but he's also willing to do the right thing if need be. Plus, he's a ladies' man. I mean, he's kind of scruffy looking. And then we're introduced to his servant, who appears every once in a while. He kind of just appears up wherever V is going to be going next. I think he's like a devoted monk type person, but he also has a lot to say, and he's actually really hilarious. One of the shining parts of this movie, and more shining parts parts of the movie come from the costuming and cinematography. I love the costuming for the dresses that the women are wearing, the armored pieces that the men are wearing majority of the time, and the use of practical sets and a lot of times practical effects. When we get into the CGI versions of that, the special effects, sometimes they don't look so good. In the opening prologue, there is a moment where we cut to the catapults and they're throwing the balls of fire at the castle gates. There is one cut where the visual effects do not look done. Like, it looks like an old PS1 video game and we're in medieval times and catapults are playing. That's how bad it was. I also find, while the lighting of the cinematography I think is fantastic, the camera work itself is very kinetic. There are moments in here where our character is standing still. One of the characters is remembering how he fell in love with this woman, but then this woman fell in love with another man and betrayed him, and this entire time he's just feeling all the emotion. He's not really moving at all, but the camera is constantly panning from right to left and shaking as we feel his anger and his sorrow from telling that story. Kinda gave me motion sickness a lot of the time. It's very kinetic cinematography. I don't think the camera needs to be moving that much and for that long, just in my opinion. But overall, I think this film was a pretty good time. I'm still interested, though, into where this story is going. Again, I don't think there's one in particular good or bad guy, or who is going to take the throne or who's not. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen and where the parts play and where it goes from here. I actually kind of feel like I'm in the know. Like, part 2 hasn't come out yet, and I get to look forward to when that does next year, and I can do my review then. See, I'm gonna be like happening with the times and stuff. I'm gonna give PS1 3.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I am above average.
So please keep sending me your Indian cinema recommendations. I'm making a whole list and compiling that and scheduling that out for all of next year. I'm definitely going to be checking out more of Indian cinema. Thank you very much for everyone who has already. So guys, if you've seen PS1, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.